Leading South African poultry producer, Sovereign, has launched their second cooling-as-a-service project with Energy Partners at the Hartbeespoort facility. Energy Partners invested 92 million rand to upgrade to a state-of-the-art ammonia system, meeting noise regulations and incorporating advanced energy management, all with minimal production disruption and significant energy savings.
Sovereign is a fully integrated poultry producer. We are the third largest in the country, and we distribute product across the country, and we also export product mainly to the Middle East, to the Far East, and we export also largely to the SADC countries.
The expansion here at Hartbeespoort came about as part of our compliance to environmental regulations. So the two old ammonia plants was very noisy, especially at night, and it affected our neighbors.
There was significant issues with the cooling in the plant rooms, and effectively they had to keep the plant room doors open 24/7. Obviously with this setting that caused a lot of issues with the neighbors.
So they contacted Energy Partners to design a brand new facility for them that can take over the role of basically the two plants they had. And I think the complication with that is they still wanted to run production. So it's not like you can stop their production for a long time. So you have to coordinate everything with shutdowns and those kind of things.
What made EP attractive is that they are an integrated company which offered all the solutions in-house, from design to funding to building to operating and maintaining.
We are chicken producers, and it's our responsibility to produce quality chicken products and get it out into the local and the export markets. We don't want to worry about refrigeration. By leaving that to the experts, and that's the benefit of this arrangement, is that Energy Partners guarantee uptime, and implicitly, if the refrigeration plant is uptime, we have benefit in the slaughterhouse and the processing facility as they have additional uptime, and that directly gives you extra profitability for the group, extra profitability for the company. So it's really just a transfer of ownership around refrigeration, and we found it's really worked for us.
Generally, the upfront capital portion of these plants is a market entry barrier for customers. They would focus on getting the least cost or spending the least amount of capital on these plants to the detriment of the efficiency of these plants. Cooling as a service is a partnership with a customer where we sign for 15 or 20 years, we stay behind, and we really technically de-risk our customers through being on site and owning and operating these plants. And that allows our customers to really focus on their core business.
What we are doing is you are taking a capital asset, and Energy Partners is actually funding that capital asset.
The big difference is when you build a plant to maintain it yourself over a span of 20 years, your decisions when designing the plant is based on the efficiency of the plant, and it's based on maintenance of the plant, more than what it is about cost.
You know, if we think of the Japanese term called sanpaiyoshi, there's three parts of this puzzle, and servitization allows all three of those parties to mutually benefit from this agreement.
There's certainly a funding cost benefit as well, because we are able to consolidate all the plants that we have and in many ways obtain significantly better funding rates than what a client would on their own.
Cooling as a service from a money perspective has really got two parts. It's got a fixed part, so our customers have a fixed fee for the operation and maintenance of this plant throughout the life cycle, and it makes their ability to forecast their spend over the 15 or 20 years very easy. And then the second part of the contract is the variable portion, where we invoice our customers based on the consumption of the plant. And that's really where you pay for what you've used.
The advantage that we have with this now is there's a lot more certainty and accuracy around what our refrigeration costs are going to be every single month. So we've seen savings of up between 10 and 15% in terms of refrigeration costs. The longer term contract has been structured in such a way that at the end of the contract, the ROI would be very significant for Sovereign. It would be better than anything we would have managed to do ourselves in any way at all.
So because we've got our hands on this site 24/7, we can maintain that efficiency. And that's where the real benefit is over time. As other plants that are owned and operated by a customer, as they degrade over time in terms of their efficiency, we uphold that efficiency over the lifetime of the project. And we would also make the decision to invest in the plant if we can increase the efficiency and it makes sense from a return on investment perspective.
Energy Partners go so far to guarantee the coefficient of performance of this plant.
In this installation, we went from an ammonia refrigeration plant to an ammonia refrigeration plant, which means from an atmospheric point of view, there's no real environmental damage that we're doing. There are two specific things that we have to take into account very carefully. The first one was the levels of noise pollution. Since there are a couple of game farms that's within a very close proximity to the plant, and the plant is also located in a valley, so essentially it echoes up the noise onto the hilltops. So because of that, the client invested quite a lot of money in the acoustic dampening, and that reduced the noise levels to such an extent that with the acoustic surveys that was done, we couldn't actually pick up the noise of the plant over the general noise of the factory, which was very impressive.
As a result of the reduced consumption and the reduced demand, we have much better carbon emissions. So this plant itself is very environmentally and atmospheric friendly, which in today's time is really important in terms of ESG goals and objectives.
The other factor is that in future, Sovereign wants to expand the production volumes out of the facility significantly. And the plant that we've built here allows us to roughly increase the cooling capacity by 3 times before we need to build a new plant room.
We've been running the CASP contract here now since October last year, and Energy Partners have shown that they will go the extra mile for us time and again. You can go to Energy Partners with any problem. They always have time for you, and they'll assign the necessary resources to resolve that problem quickly and to your satisfaction.
We really feel that the cooling as a service offering that EP have introduced to the market is very innovative, very unique, and we strongly encourage companies to look at that as an option in terms of streamlining and benefiting from their cooling and refrigeration costs.
Energy Partners is committed to delivering innovative and sustainable energy solutions that empower businesses like Sovereign to thrive. Let's shape a more efficient and sustainable future together.